All right, you guys, welcome back in. This is going to be part 2 of the December 2024 astrology update readings. I'm going to tap into Libra through Pisces. All right, Aries through Virgo is on part 1. They'll both be set in the playlist with all other signs and the actual tarot readings for the month of December. All right. Because we are in different energy now, I am going to look over where the moon has ingressed. All right, it looks like we are currently at 7 degrees and 5 minutes of the moon in Aquarius. So we'll look at the Sabian symbol for the 8th degree of Aquarius. All right, it says beautifully grown or beautifully gowned wax figures. All right, it says the creative power of admiration. Creating the future out of idealizing images, creating idealized intentions. In order to project a clear new vision into the future, we need to imagine its details very clearly. Having no better examples to copy and contrast, we can use models that we invent purely out of our imagination, as in some ways, science fiction drives the inventiveness of technology. So fashion models drive our sense of beauty and grace, and our morality and spiritual teachings come to shape how we think and feel about life, and thus shapes how we experience reality itself. All right, so we were speaking about today here doing this reading on December 5th. The transits that were taking place, we've seen Mercury conjunct the sun. We've seen the moon in Aquarius sextile over to the North Node in Aries in opposition to Mars and Leo. And then we're also seeing a lot of semi-square energies, including that of Pluto in Aquarius with Mercury in Sag. We're seeing Venus in Capricorn with a semi-square over to Saturn in Pisces. And then we're seeing the moon in Aquarius semi-sextile or semi-square, right, to the energy of Neptune as well as Saturn, both being in Pisces here. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to tap back into that of the energy of Libra. We're going to pull their charts and see what's going on for the month of December. All timestamps will be available after live is over. Okay. So Libra, in your energy for the month of December, we have in your first house, which is all about self. All right, your appearance, the way that you present yourself out to the world. You have Vesta that is in Libra, which is the asteroid of spirituality. All right, heavy on sacrifice and devotion with the specific asteroid. Has a lot to do with the spark that's from within. Brings the sense of home and hearth. So whatever drives your intention with whatever you're doing in the first house and how you're presenting yourself out to the world, there seems to be a spark there. All right, Lilith and Libra here. There's a lot of sense of power coming behind what it is that you are, again, setting your intention on when you're representing yourself out to the world. South Node in Libra, it could be like a karmic challenge that you're dealing with. Maybe you're tapping into a natural gift that you never thought you had. All right, it seems to be because the South Node is in your first house. There's a lot of issues that you're dealing with from past life. All right, but it looks like there's going to be some adjustments that you're going to be making here and what needs to be released, what serves you, what doesn't serve you, what belongs to you, what doesn't belong to you. Last quarter moon in Libra is going to set off this cardinal moon cycle, and where it's going to be affecting that of the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th houses for you. So that'll be important astrological axes. House of self, home, partnerships, and career. All right, so there's a lot going on here for you with us moving through December and into January. All right, Scorpio, in your second house, you have the house of money, values, finances, possessions. Juno just recently stepped into Scorpio on November 3rd. All right, so this is an energy that just started this month. It's been here for a while. You should have seen changes coming into partnership and marriage and or commitment when it has anything to do with what you value, if it's pertaining to your money or something that you possess. All right, the second house is all about luxury things. Juno being in Scorpio's energy, Scorpio being that all of, let's just say the emotional state, something here that you truly value, all right, will be more so shown through the emotions, I want to say. All right, Sag in your 3rd house. This is where the sun is shining at this time. There's a lot of retrogrades going on right now, and I think we explained that overall in the first reading. So if you guys want to run back to the intro of that reading, the retrogrades that are happening right now being with Mercury and Sagittarius in the 9th house, us having Chiron retrograding in the 1st house, which is all about Aries energy, self. All right, we have retrogrades happening in Gemini as well as in Taurus. This is affecting like resources, communication. We're seeing that Mercury retrograding in Sag is affecting that of higher learning. There's a lot of changes that are happening right now and what is being reviewed. I feel like for you, where the sun is shining, it happens to be like you're putting a heavy emphasis on communication, or wanting to short travel, or wanting to bring social groups together and share ideas. All right, Mercury retrograding in its domicile home, all right, in the 3rd house. Even if it's at its detriment in Sagittarius' energy, Sag wants you to expand your higher knowledge. Mercury actually retrograding in the 3rd house is like looking into the details before you actually go present something out to your community of people who share the same like-minded ideas, all right, something like that. So this new moon in Sag that has taken place for you, for me, it's like a sense of a new like project involving that of communicating ideas, all right, to your specific group of people is what I feel. And the way that it's being communicated is what's going to be reviewed here. All right, how it's coming out, how you're presenting, how the ideas of others and how that's being grouped together. All right, and how you can expose that out. So I'm guessing it has a lot to do with, again, your representation of self, how you're communicating, because the sun is highlighted here, and the partnerships that are coming in pertaining to what you truly value. All right. Capricorn in your 4th house. This is interesting. When I did Cancer's reading, I said the same for Cancer, so I'm going to say the same for you. With Capricorn being in the 4th house, it feels a little difficult because Capricorn normally rules the 10th house. In opposition, you do have Pallas here, which is the asteroid of wisdom and knowledge, in the energy of the divine feminine. So maybe what you're tapping into here is going to be heightened intuition, that of like a maternal instinct, you having some sort of inner healing that you're doing and understanding what that is. Venus being in the house of Cancer feels that of a birth of something new. All right, but because you have Capricorn here, Capricorn is more of a masculine energy sitting in a feminine home. All right, being that Venus is in Capricorn and it's been here since back in October through November, and now heading into December, it's been out of balance this entire time. So anything pertaining to your values, your finances, your pleasure, relationships, beauty, love, it all affecting the energies of back in when it was in Scorpio, heading into Sag, and now into Capricorn. All right, it's been kind of like transitioning that of your values through the way that you communicate and what you bring into your home environment, which is all about love. Okay. Sirius being in Capricorn is the asteroid of parenting, nurturing, agriculture, self-care. So Sirius is all about the foods that you put into your mouth. Overall, it could be the foods that you are providing in the home environment, how you have a sense of comfort food is what I want to say this is. All right. And or just more so parenting as a mother figure, very nurturing ways. Okay. So we have Venus stepping into Aquarius, Sirius stepping into Aquarius on December 7th. Okay, both of those transits. By the end of the month, we'll see a new moon in Capricorn in your 4th house on December 30th, whereas the new moon in Sag that happened in your 3rd house happened on December 1st. All right, so new moons happening in your 3rd and 4th houses, specifically in December. Aquarius in the 5th house. This is where Pluto just stepped in on November 19th. It's going to be here for the next 20 years. All right, it will have some retrograde periods back into Capricorn and then into Pisces as well once it gets at a further degree. But what's happening here, it's affecting that of your house of pleasure, love, creativity, self-expression, children, your hobbies, all right, your overall peace, happiness, joy, and contentment. Pluto will sextile the North Node in Aries, which is your 7th house. Anytime a sextile happens, it works with harmony and compatibility. So if you're trying to find that of a partner in love and you're going through a transformational stage in this energy, then you're going to be seeing that take place with the North Node in Aries. I want to say by the end of this month. All right, we have also Chiron that's working with the North Node in the 7th house for you. So I see that working positively. If you are dealing with some sort of core wounds, you're going to be able to express that in the energy of love. If you don't have a chance to do so by the end of this year, it will work harmoniously with you when Venus goes retrograde coming up in March. On the 1st of March, we'll have it retrograde in Aries, and it will step back into Pisces. Speaking of Pisces energy, this happens to be where Saturn and Neptune are currently working together. They actually went retrograde together back in June and in the beginning of July. All right, Saturn has now gone direct in November. Neptune's going direct this upcoming weekend on the 7th. So as we see Venus stepping into Aquarius, Sirius stepping into Aquarius, Neptune will go direct all on the same exact day. This is going to be focusing more so on your 5th, your 6th, as well as looking into your 7th houses and where this sextile is going to happen for you by the end of the month. All right, so your destiny is in alignment here. Healing is in alignment here. Utilizing your imagination and getting creative for what you do for work is of significance here. And what transformational energies you're bringing into your happiness and how you're creating and self-expressing with whatever you do for a hobby. It could be you surrounding yourself with what you do for work if you work with even children. Okay, let's move forward. Taurus in the 8th house. We're looking at the house of sex, the deep emotional feelings, and how you're meant to face your fears. This is interesting for me because I'm seeing Uranus retrograding in the 8th house, but it's in Taurus's energy. Taurus, number 1, being in the 8th house at its detriment. Not comfortable there. Uranus actually ruling over the 11th house in square over to its ruling house being in the 8th also creates a sense of tension. Okay, so it's given this very like chaotic type of energy, but it's happening in a house of that rules over emotional feelings and fears. All right, I like this though. It feels actually like you're going to be prepared to have a very, let's just say, revolutionary transformative type of energy. All right, because you actually got Pluto, which is the ruler of the 8th house, sitting in the 5th house, which squares over. That's part of your happiness. Whatever is transforming in your happiness is going to transform your emotional state and where you're afraid of facing a specific fear. Okay, it could involve your sexual connections. It could also affect that of if you have associations to other people's resources. All right, so this is a house that speaks about debt. It has a lot to do with emotional debt, financial debt, as well as physical debt. I want to say that as well. All right, Gemini in the 9th house, house of higher learning, spirituality, and foreign travels. This is my placement that I actually like for you, Libra, because Jupiter actually rules the 9th house. But being in the sign of Gemini, obviously, it's at its detriment. I find it interesting for you. You're going to be the only sign that I see that this opposition of Gemini and Sag is actually possibly working out well for you, okay? Where you're meant to expand and grow. And that being reviewed right now because Jupiter rules the 9th house. It has a lot to do with your spirituality, your associations to foreign people, philosophies, belief systems, and how you're tapping into higher learning. Mercury being in retrograde in this opposition, happening in its domicile home. It's how you're receiving that communication, how you're sharing those ideas, and how you're bringing together specific partnerships to build and share, whatever information is provided here. All right, so Jupiter will sesqui quadrate over to Pluto in Aquarius, which again for you, that's going to be the energy of your 5th house. Anytime a sesqui quadrate energy happens, it's more so bringing in a sense of discomfort, all right, or disharmony, should I say, to a specific energy here that affecting your 5th and your 9th houses. That's all about what makes you happy, especially if it's about something that you're learning with. All right. Jupiter squared over to Saturn in Pisces. That's going to be affecting your 6th house to your 9th house. These two houses are ruled by mutable energy. So where you're meant to remain adaptable, it's bringing in a sense of tension. That happens on December 24th. Jupiter doesn't go direct in the 9th house up until February 4th. So I feel like you're going to be having like a back and forth type of energy from December through January up until the beginning of February, where you're actually going to see some sort of exposure to whatever it is that you are learning about spirituality. All right, in the month of December, you'll see the full moon that happens in the 9th house for you. So there'll be an illumination of spirituality. All right, a specific foreign person, someone that's associated to how you're growing and learning, and I feel like the ninth house is meant to bring in a sense of abundance and prosperity as well, because that's Jupiter's energy, right? Um, it's where you're meant to grow and expand and learn and become more adventurous overall. You like to explore new things is what it feels like. All right, so Cancer in the 10th house. I don't feel like there's nothing that's happening more so pertaining to your career right now. You might have experienced when Mars was in Cancer some discord when it comes to your career. All right, but Mars being in the 10th house could actually bring in a sense of it's in its domicile home there. I'm sorry, it's exalted in that home. All right, so if it requires ambition, if it requires for you to kind of like overcome some sort of responsibility or drive, all right, pertaining to like perseverance, all right, on your goal, your achievements, it's a really good energy to be there. I just don't like Mars being in Cancer because it's at its detriment. All right, it doesn't work with as much strength. But again, for you, I'm seeing where Capricorn is sitting in the 4th house and where it doesn't work well there. Cancer being the 10th, it's almost in the opposition. That's the house of home. Cancer wants comfort, the divine feminine energy. In the 10th house, you want divine masculine energy to work well here. Okay. So that's what I'm getting overall. Leo in the 11th is your house of companions. You got Mars and Leo here. So it's coming through with like those that you're associating with. It might come through that you're being a little bit prideful or egotistical, or you seem to be like the futuristic one that isn't afraid to go take action and make, sound decisions pertaining to who you're grouping with, what, you guys are networking about, speaking about the future and how changes are meant to come. Mercury will go retrograde. Mars will go retrograde in Leo on December 6th. And that's happening tomorrow. All right. Virgo in the 12th house, the house of the unknown, the subconscious state, the imagination, and how you're meant to be inspiring to others. There's not much happening here, but besides when the moon is in Virgo, and that will take place, I believe it's going to be on the 20th of the month. The moon will step into Cancer in your 10th house, where there's not much happening there either, but that will be the same day that we see the Mercury go direct and the full moon happen in Gemini. Okay, so it's a big deal with your ninth, your third, your ninth, and your 10th houses specifically on that day for that specific weekend. All right, let's get into Scorpio's energy. All right, let's check out Scorpio. Let's see what's going on. Scorpio, you've got Juno in your 1st house, asteroid of marriage and partnerships. I'm not sure if you're really much focused on partnerships. You might be more so committed to yourself at this time. All right. What you have going on with Juno being in Scorpio, it's opposing Uranus and Taurus in your 7th. What I'm seeing there is already chaos and discord with Uranus being in retrograde in your house of partnerships, and then Juno in Scorpio. It's like if you're married to yourself or married to something that, seems to be more so important to you. That's what that looks like to me. All right. Sagittarius in the 2nd house, you've got the house of money, values, possessions. The sun is highlighted here for you. So you could be gaining lots of resources right now. All right. Going after things that are bringing in lots of finances, like money for you. All right. Putting a heavy focus on Mercury being retrograde here as well, on how you make it, you save, and you spend. All right. New moon in Sag happened on December 1st. So you could be coming into alignment with, I want to say, how you are remaining adaptable. All right. Sagittarius' energy is mutable. So you're remaining adaptable to what's happening overall when it comes to your finances, is what I feel. The adjustments that you need to make, having everything balanced out. But the sun being here is putting a highlight on your resources. For me, it looks like it looks good. All right. Mercury goes direct on the 15th of December. We've got the sun that steps into Capricorn on the 21st of the month, which steps in your 3rd house. You'll be more so looking into communication. All right. Possibly communicating a little bit better as well. We've had Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, and then it went direct back in September through October. So in November, where it actually stepped into your 4th house, it seems like you've been going through a set of transformational energies in your house of communication to your house of home. And that's just with Pluto's energy. All right, but with Capricorn here, we've just had Pallas step in, which is the asteroid of wisdom and knowledge. I feel like you're on point when it comes to your ideas, how you're learning, all right, what you're gaining knowledge about, and how you're meant to share that with other people. Venus in Capricorn is heavy on this energy of feeling like you love what you do, what you're communicating about. And I like this energy overall for you as well. So it possibly has been overall been about finances, all right, what you find to be valuable, because Venus is in the house of communication. So if you're communicating to anybody about your resources or about your love life or about, you know, what seems to be beautiful for you or your relationships or anything like that, or things that you want to draw in, all right, Venus in Capricorn, this could be that you're tapping in with someone that is of a great age difference, that you feel like you can be your mentor, someone that you can communicate to. All right, Sirius in Capricorn has a lot to do with your self-care, your parenting, your nurturing, and your agriculture. Both Venus and Sirius are going to be moving into Aquarius by December 7th. And again, this is going to be moving into your house of home. All right, so the love for the mother figure is going to be of significance. The divine feminine energy should be heightened. All right, parenting is going to be of significance, whether you're the one that's going to be nurturing children, all right, or just in the home environment itself. There's a lot that's going to be transforming very quickly because Pluto's here in Aquarius, and it will be here for the remaining of the next 20 years. All right, so it looks like you may be playing a heavy role, Scorpio, with nurturing abilities in the home environment. Okay, we've got the new moon in Capricorn happening by the end of the month, December 30th. Again, we got Venus in Aquarius and Sirius in Aquarius and Neptune going direct in Pisces, all on the 7th of the month, which is this upcoming weekend. All right, Pluto in Aquarius will sextile the North Node in Aries, which happens to be your 6th house by the end of the month, December 31st. 6th house is all about your hard work and your health. All right, so whatever is happening in your house of home, sextiled over to all the hard work that you've been putting in, something auspicious or positive and or harmonious will come by the end of the month for you. All right, Pisces in your 5th house is the house of pleasure, love, and creativity. Here, I feel like you've been really structured when it comes to your love life. How you've been able to self-express and get creative even around your children. Neptune's energy wants you to utilize your imagination and again expand and be more compassionate and vulnerable and showing love. That's kind of what's in review right now. That will be going direct this weekend. So where you may have been feeling kind of like out of it, Neptune is almost like, okay, what's an illusion versus really what's your reality? That's what this is. All right, and Saturnian energy has brought structure and discipline and overall heavy responsibility on what your love life or your happiness actually is meant to look like. All right, now, I feel like overall for 2024 has been a heavy emphasis on work for you. Chiron retrograding in Aries is the asteroid of the wounded healer. For you in the 6th house, your health, you could have chose to go down and, you know, change many different things. If you do alcohol, if you do drugs, if there's some sort of addiction that you have to, like overeating or not working out or, you know, working a little bit too hard and overwhelming yourself. This is something that I've been talking about for months with you. North Node in Aries is like, this is something part of your destiny here that you're meant to align with. All right, when it comes to your healing. The Chiron direct happens on the 29th. It's been retrograding for like 5 or 6 months now. So you should have seen some changes overall heading towards your destiny and or changes that have been happening, whether it be the way that you eat, the way that you exercise, the way that you sleep, the amount of hard work you put in, the amount of hours you put in a day, how you're being of service to other people. It could be like your daily routines, trying to stay on track with something is of significance here pertaining to your destiny, okay? Venus retrogrades March 1st of 2025, where it did not retrograde here in 2024. It will retrograde in the beginning of 2025, or should I say during spring season, okay? April 12th of 2025, it heads back into Pisces. So you're going to be seeing Venus's energy retrograde from your 6th house back to your 5th house. Whatever Venus is doing here for you in the house of work, this could be that you involve yourself with a lover at work, and or you'll find yourself involving yourself in a hobby that you love to do. All right, so Venus being in Pisces in the 5th house for you. Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's comfortable there. You might actually find yourself attracted to a new lover, doing something pleasurable, going after your happiness, or doing something that's self-expressive where you can create. Okay, Taurus in your 7th house. Again, this is where Uranus is retrograding for. I laugh because I'm never mind. I laugh because I know it's chaos that's happening right now in the house of your relationships, okay? It's like a shit show. So you feel that there's changes that are happening for you that are more so inevitable. It feels almost out of a tower, something that's uncontrollable. It's like divine forces that are working against you at this time is what it feels like, so that you can be aligned with where you're meant to be. That's what it feels like, okay? So that's going to be going direct by January 30th. It's been in your 7th house for a very long time. Uranus is not just stepping in. It's actually getting ready to ingress into your 8th house of transformation, which is your ruling home. All right. By the end of 2025, early 2026. All right. So that'll be a change you can get ready for, because Uranus is going to start creating some shakeups when it comes to debt, your house of sex, your deep emotional feelings, how you're meant to face your fears, organized religions. It has a lot to do with life after death. You could feel that things are about to shake up for you. Just be careful with other people's resources. Taxes as well is the 8th house. All right, so be careful that you're not involving yourself in a shit show here. All right, Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is what's happening here right now for you. So where you're meant to expand right now, it's not working with the most strength. 8th house has to do with like bank loans, again, other people's resources. What's retrograding right now is there's a review of how you're handling a specific situation. You rule the 8th house, you know exactly how to get by these energies. All right, so save. All right, focus on if you're having sex, just be sure that you're not too deep emotionally attached. If you know that this isn't someone that you want to be with for a very long time, that will come to illumination by the full moon in Gemini on December 15th, which in opposition we have Mercury retrograding in your 2nd house, again having to do with who you love and or who you value. Okay, now Jupiter square over to Saturn being in Pisces, it has a lot to do with your 5th house to your 8th house. What do I want to say about this? Wherever you were being structured when it comes to your love life, Jupiter expanding and that having associations to your deep emotional feelings, that's going to be a tension for you on December 24th. Yeah, that's a big deal right there for you specifically. So I feel like Saturn in the 8th house is so like manipulative, should I say. All right. Jupiter goes direct February 4th. The full moon again happening in Gemini on December 15th. The same day that we're going to be seeing Mercury go direct in the 2nd house pertaining to your values. All right. Cancer, 9th house, not much happening here besides when the moon is in Cancer. Full moon will happen in Gemini on the 15th. The very same day we will ingress into Cancer's energy. The moon will start waning down, meaning whatever no longer serves you will start being released. Looks like you're going to be in a heavy sense of spirituality on that specific day. That happens on a Sunday. Leo, in your 10th house, the house of career, public image, professional aspirations, divine masculine energy. This is where you have Mars. Mars being in Leo, very prideful energy. Mars being in the 10th house, I like it. Why? Because it is exalted there. All right. Mars is in typically exalted in Capricorn, but Capricorn rules the 10th house. All right. So what's being retrograded in your house of career right now is going to start tomorrow, December 6th. So whether you actually want to remain in this career, doing what you're doing, wanting to push through, all right, you'll see that happening for a short period of time. Once we move into Mars in Cancer again, coming up on January, 8th, then you're going to be seeing where Mars is going to be in your 9th house again, reviewing your spirituality, your higher learning, and those that you have associations with, foreign people or foreign travel, whatever that may be. All right, that happens to be up until February 23rd, and where it will go direct in Cancer. Okay. Virgo in the 11th house, not much happening here either. Again, the moon in Virgo happens to step in on the 20th of the month. We will anytime the moon is in the 11th house, it gives you a sense of independence. For you, Virgo being there, possibly organization, all right, you being of service to other people. The 11th house has a lot to do with being like a humanitarian, all right, doing things that are like innovative, futuristic. I don't know if you're going to be helping a specific community of people that you're networking with, something like that. All right, Libra in the 12th house. This is the house of the unknown for you, subconsciously tapping into your imagination and getting creative. For you, the south nodes here. I don't really like this placement for you. All right, you might feel like you have a past life gift or something that you've been tapping in with subconsciously. Maybe you're receiving some sort of spiritual messages here because Vesta's in Libra at this time. And it has a lot that you've been like sacrificing and devoting yourself for others. All right. And where you're actually getting a sense of a spark here with a sense of power that this is giving you, being able to tap into something subconsciously. All right. It's almost like you have this intuitive feeling and you know something before it's actually known. That makes sense. All right. Last quarter moon in Libra happens on December 22nd. This is going to be where, let's just say, whatever is being released and where this cardinal moon cycle is happening for you is going to affect the 12th, the 3rd, the 6th, and the 9th houses for you. 2 of these houses are very spiritual homes. All right. The other one has to do with communication, and then it happens to do with work. So whatever you're changing here, all right, I feel like your subconscious state is telling you that there's a past life karmic issue that you've been dealing with, someone or something that you seem to have a sense of power with. All right, could be a natural gift that you have, and something will be changing. All right, as you step into this energy of feeling like you have a spark with that Vesta being in your 12th house. All right, a sense of balance as well coming into your subconscious and your conscious state. Let's get into Sagittarius. Okay. So Sag, the sun is in your first house. You've got Mercury retrograding in your first house. You're probably like all about travel right now, even if it's at short distances. If you're holding meetings, you feel like you're important, you're in the spotlight. All right, you've had the new moon in Sag that happened for you on the first of the month. All right, which was your, new moon energy. Anytime you have a new moon in your sign, it's like, get ready to start creating, right? Set your intention on something and stay driven so that when we hit that first quarter moon, which is, by the way, coming up in Pisces this upcoming weekend, it gives you a sense of like, you set your intention. It's like the energy gains momentum up until you see progress. All right, so you being in the spotlight, it kind of gives this good energy for you. All right, maybe the way that communication is coming to you at this time is being reviewed. The way that you're presenting yourself is being reviewed. All right, Mercury ends up going direct on the 15th. Mercury steps into Capricorn by January 8th. We've got the sun in Capricorn stepping in on December 21st. All right, so that will be the sun moving into your second house, which is going to bring hell of resources in, I feel. All right, so that's actually looking good for you right now. Let's look at Capricorn in the second house. House of money, values, possessions, finances. All right. It is confidence and self-esteem as well, and self-care. So you've got Palace here, which is the asteroid of wisdom and knowledge. Maybe you're getting yourself enrolled into a program or something where you can gain knowledge of how to gain resources or finances and how to protect, your possessions. We've got Venus in Capricorn. So I'm feeling like there could be someone that's older that's mentoring you in how to utilize these resources. Venus being in the second house is in its domicile. So you could be right now great with your resources. All right. Venus has been out of bounds from October through the month of November. And then up until December, you could have seen like this over the top character of moving forward with your finances, your valuables, your pleasure, relationships, beauty, love. All right. And more so just sticking with that energy and how it's been working well for you in the second house. I like it. So Sirius also being all about parenting, nurturing, and agriculture. This has a heavy emphasis of just, let's just say the foods that you're feeding, all right? Whether it's you, your children, okay, because it has a lot to do with parenting. It's all about your self-care. So it's not only just those that you're involved with, it's all about you. What are you feeding yourself? Second house is what you put in your mouth, right? The Taurus energy overall in the second house, it rules over like the throat area. So I'm feeling like whatever is happening here and whatever you're feeding yourself and however you're taking care of yourself, whatever you seem to be of finding value with your resources, how you're gaining and protecting your possessions, it all is going to align when both Sirius and Venus step into Aquarius and meets with Pluto, because there's going to be something that's transformative that's happening in your house of communication. Not only is it about the house of communication, but it is of travel as well, transportation, and it has a lot to do with you looking over contracts and where you're associating with other people. So let's just say like you're starting, let's just say you want to write a book. All right, let's say you want to gain knowledge and wisdom of things that you truly value when it comes to your resources. You're writing a cookbook or something, all right, of how you've been nurturing your body, parenting your children, what have you been feeding them, how you've been focusing on self-care. This could be many different things, and then you socializing with those specific people to transform what that is. And let's just say you put a book or something out into the media, all right. The third house is the media. So it's kind of like getting other people involved is what I feel, okay. So we're going to see a new moon in Capricorn by December 30th. So again, that's going to be happening in your second house. And then we'll see Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. All right. Transforming what it is of communication, transportation, and travel. Even study groups. All right. Involve schools, whatever that may be. All right. We got Pluto in Aquarius sextiling to the North Node in Aries for December 31st by the end of the month, and that's going to be affecting, well, sextiling, not affecting, but working harmoniously in compatibility with your fifth house. All right, so this will be where whatever's transforming is affecting, it's working harmoniously with your house of pleasure, love, and creativity. All right, so this could be your children as well. For Piscean energy, you have Saturn sitting in the fourth house. There's structure in your home environment. I like that. All right, Neptune retrograding in Pisces. It looks like whatever seems to be an illusion versus what reality is for you in your home environment will be going direct on the 7th when you see Sirius and Venus step into your third house. So the communication in the home environment will be very direct. I like that as well. All right, first quarter moon in Pisces happening on December 8th. That's this upcoming Sunday. That's more so saying whatever you set your intention on with the new moon in your first house is what's taking off for you up until we hit that full moon in Gemini. I like this. All right, it's almost like this is who I am. This is what I expect. This is what's going on in my home environment. And then it puts a highlight on you and your partner as well. So it's like focusing more so on how everything is rounding for you in your first, your fourth, and the 7th, specifically for December. All right, this mutable energy started off with the last quarter moon in Virgo that happened with your career. Maybe you were releasing last month in November something of what no longer served you pertaining to your career. Now it's a heavy focus on this is how I want to represent myself as. All right, this is what's changing and how I brought structure into my home environment. And this is who I want to be partnered with for whatever, you know, for the next 3 months. Anytime we end a specific mutable cycle, it won't take up until the next 3 months for us to step into that same type of energy. I like it. Okay, Aries with the 5th house. Again, this is where the North Node is happening. So it's like you should be in alignment, all right, pertaining to destiny when it comes to a hobby, anything you find pleasurable, love, creativity, your children, how you're meant to self-express. If you do anything pertaining to sports, it brings in a sense of happiness, joy, and contentment and peace into your life. You've been doing a lot of healing as well when it comes to your love life. So if you've been wounded for many years, then this is going to be something that you've been focused on. Aries wants to be driven to take action, and maybe this is where you're going to be opening up for your love life. Okay, that's what it looks like for me, because I see Venus being here for you in the beginning of the year. the astrological year, as I say to everybody. Venus retrograding on March 1st, 2025 in Aries and retrograding back into Pisces by April 12th. It will be affecting that of your 5th and your 4th houses. So your love life and your home environment. Venus is all about love. It's all about beauty. It's all about your finances. So these are going to be areas that are reviewing, where here in 2024, it did not get a review. Next year it will. And it will happen right when we're stepping into the new astrological year, meaning Aries. That will be spring season. Okay. So I'm feeling like Taurus in the 6th house, there's something changing about your work environment. All right. There's some sort of chaos happening here. Or a review of, are you actually taking care of your body, your health? All right. Are you being of service to other people in any way? Are you heavily focused on, changing what you do for work? Because Uranus is all about change. All right. That's going to be going direct on January 30th. So kind of figure out where you want to, let's say, place your time. Okay. Uranus can be time. I'm feeling like whatever chaos happened, it was so that you could align yourself properly with what you want to do in the near future. Uranus is all about the future. All right. It's all about change. It's all about you accepting changes when it comes to your, that's crazy. Uranus, when it comes to changes to your health. All right. Let's say you do drugs, alcohol, you overeat, you overthink, you don't sleep well. It could be many different things. All right. But it's a matter of trying to keep yourself in equilibrium. All right. So Gemini in the 7th house for you. This is a highlight of the month. So whatever's coming to completion with your partnerships. All right. A legal contract. Something's about to come to an end for you here. All right. Something that's been in review over a specific, I don't know, it could be a companion. It could be a partnership. It could be a relationship that you have, like romantic. It could be a platonic friendship. It could be literally a contract in business. Whatever this is for you, something's been retrograding. It will be retrograding up until February 4th. But I'm feeling like whatever disharmony or discomfort you have and whatever tension is going to be coming up this month. December 13th, I see the sesquiquadrate transit with Pluto in Aquarius and the square happening to Saturn and Pisces on the 24th. So this is going to be affecting overall the energy of your 4th house of home. And then also Aquarius, your 3rd house of communication, with specifically partnerships. Okay. The full moon in Gemini, again, you'll be releasing something on that same day. Mercury will go direct in your 1st house, and then we'll have the moon ingress later on that day into the 2nd house. And in your 8th house in Cancer. All right, so the moon in the 8th house, it's more so like you having a sense of power when it comes to your emotional state. If you release someone that no longer serves you in your house of relationships, by the end of the day on the 15th, you're gonna feel like you have a sense of power. Like, yeah, bitch, I said get out. Like something like that. I'm sorry. Something like this. All right. So by the end of the month, I feel like there's a highlight on your relationships. Again, nothing much happening in your 8th house of transformation. I just feel like when the moon is there, you're going to get a sense of power. Maybe you're inherited with some sort of like deep emotional feeling like you need to do something or make a change and or face a fear. That will be coming up. Mars and Leo in the 9th house. You've got the house of higher learning, spirituality, foreign travel. Mars being here, you're full bloom lit right now with higher learning about spirituality. Something has caught your interest. All right. It looks like Leo is something that just you find enjoyment in this. All right. It gives you a sense of happiness is what that feels like. So if it's that of a foreign person, if it's something that you do spiritually, if it's a new belief system, philosophy, if it's a new way of learning, if it's something that has caught your interest where it's like you go from one thing and you want to, you have interest in the next, you're going to continue pushing forward. But Mars is going to be retrograding here in Leo and then stepping back into the 8th house. Mars rules the 8th house. So whatever you were overcoming pertaining to those deep emotional feelings, you're kind of going to fall back into that retrograde energy and review what you have learned, how you've overcome before you get ready to push forward. When Mars goes direct in Cancer, that will head right back into Leo. All right. for Virgo in your 10th house. There's not much going on here for the career. And I find that interesting because your house of career and your 6th house of work, there seems to be some sort of chaos that's happening in your house of work and where you're not actually affected by it in your career just yet. All right, maybe when Mars moves into Virgo, I believe that will happen by the end of, let's see when, because I'm nosy like that. So Mars enters Leo again after retrograding in Cancer and going direct on February 23rd. It enters Leo. We won't see Mars in Virgo in your 10th house up until June 17th. Mars being in the 10th house, it's exalted there, it's comfortable there, it's aware there. You're going to kind of feel more so like you have a sense of power going after what you want to do for your career. So you're going to be in retrograde right now. It looks like whatever you do for your work and whatever's changing, you are going to be then exalted in your career by the middle of 2025 in June. Okay? Now, Libra, 11th house, house of companions. You've got Vesta here. You've got Lilith here. You've got the South Node here. This is karmic challenges, past life issues pertaining to those that you feel were your friends. Okay. 11th house is friends, your network groups, those that you call your companions. All right. You're tapping more into those that have a sense of spirituality that you can feel devoted, and it kind of feels like something futuristic though. All right. Maybe your group of people are like all churchy. I don't know. Could just be that you guys have spiritual fun. All right, whatever that may be for you. There can be many different things that you do that brings a sense of spirituality out. Maybe you do yoga. You like to do healthy stuff, right? Because Uranus is retrograding in your 6th house. It could be many different things, all right? But what I see here, this gives you a sense of power, which the 11th house is a very independent house. It is where you're meant to network with other people, but you have to be surrounded by the right people. So if South Node's here and you have karmic challenges with certain people that you know are no longer serving your good, last quarter moon in Libra is where you're going to be releasing those people. All right. That's coming up December 22nd, the day after the sun steps into Capricorn in your 2nd house. Interesting enough, you'll be heavily focused on your resources and or what you truly value or who you value. Okay. So I'm seeing here the cardinal moon cycle that's coming up for you. 11th house, 2nd house, 5th house, 8th house makes sense. Yeah. All right. So your love life's going to be affected here, and where the North Node in Aries is happening. That's where Venus will be retrograding. You'll be seeing Mars retrograding in Cancer, and then you're also going to be seeing that last quarter moon in Libra. So there's a lot of different areas for you that are affected here. It could be money, that of yours versus someone else's. It could be a hobby or your love life opposing that of who you're hanging out with. Just be careful. When the last quarter moon comes in, you're going to make some adjustments. Somebody or something will be released. All right, we'll be waning down, by the way, from that full moon in Gemini by then. Interesting. Full moon in Gemini, last quarter moon in Libra. 2 intellectual signs. I didn't even notice that. All right, so you're heavy on air energy with this moon cycle by the end of the month. All right, Scorpio in the 12th house, the house of the unknown, subconscious, imagination, and inspirations. You're partnered in marriage and or should be committed to someone that has connections of the unknown. Okay. Subconsciously utilizing your imagination, getting creative, understanding exactly what's happening with things things you can't see, things that you can't understand. Maybe this is going to be where you're gaining some knowledge here. Where did I say Palace was for you? In the 2nd house of what you value. Makes sense. Okay, moving forward. Let's get into Capricorn. Cap, you have Palace in your 1st house. Are you super intelligent all of a sudden? All right. You look beautiful, by the way. Venus is in your 1st house. All right. Your appearance is on point. You've got all the love to give. You got all the resources. You look like a bag of money. You're attracting relationships because obviously your opposing energy is Cancer, and that's where Mars was. Mars in Cancer, it's like, ooh, everybody wants you. You're hot stuff, right? So that's going to be retrograding. Mars will be stepping back into Cancer by February 23rd. So get yourself ready, get your beauty going. All right, get your smarts going. Palette will be in Capricorn for a while. All right, Sirius, it looks like you've been focusing on parenting, nurturing, and agriculture and your self-care. All right, you got a new moon coming up by the end of the month on December 30th. That's going to set off this new you, okay, and who you are as a person. Now, Venus is getting ready to step out of Capricorn. Sirius is getting ready to step out of Capricorn for you on December 7th, which is this upcoming Saturday. I'm doing this reading on the 5th. Okay, so we also have Neptune that is going direct on the 7th in Pisces in your 3rd house. So your presentation looks good, your appearance looks good, you're all about yourself, and the way that you communicate is actually going to be on point as well. All right, let's see here. We've got Pluto in Aquarius, transforming what your resources look like here. All right, what you find to be of value pertaining to your possessions and your self-esteem, your confidence. Could be things that you do creatively if you're expressing the energy of love. Pluto in Aquarius will sextile to the North Node in Aries on December 31st. Aries being your 4th house of home. All right, and the 2nd house of your resources. All right, I'm feeling like you got some money coming in and you might be investing that in your home environment. I like that. All right, so Pisces is your 3rd house of communication. Saturn is here. Maybe you're being very structured on what you say, how you say it, your studies, how you're sharing your ideas with other people. You're kind of like taking responsibility for what comes out of your mouth, okay? Saturn being in Pisces in the 3rd house, it could be that of involving transportation. If you're traveling anywhere, you're making sure that everything is organized and you're taking, responsibility for what needs to be presented. If it's a project you're working on, if it's things that's happening in the media, it looks like you're dealing with some authority figures there as well. All right, Neptune retrograding in Pisces in the 3rd house. This could have a lot to do with how you're utilizing your imagination and getting creative and putting something into the media is what it feels like. Okay, hold on one second, you guys. All right, so Neptune again going direct on the 7th, same day that we're seeing Sirius and Venus step into your 2nd house. All right, so 2nd house, 3rd house is going to be in effect, full blown this weekend. All right, resources and the house of communication. Maybe you do and or make money online. That's what I'm feeling this is. All right, 1st quarter moon is happening in Pisces on December 8th, which is this upcoming Sunday. Whatever you set your intention on in your 12th house, the house of the subconscious, and where the new moon just happened for Sag, on December 1st, you're going to be seeing your commitment being tested in your 3rd house. Maybe you are receiving communication subconsciously that you're meant to put out. All right, just be careful what you speak and what you say. That's what I feel this is. All right, Aries, 4th house energy. The house of home, comfort, divine feminine energy. We got Chiron retrograding here in Aries, which is the asteroid of the wounded healer. Obviously, the 4th house has a lot to do with the inner healing. All right, things from your childhood. Chiron going direct by the end of the month, December 29th. It's been here for about 5 to 6 months now, retrograding. This is all about your destiny. Something about your home environment and your comfort and or a mother figure could be of significance for you. Venus retrograding March 1st of 2025 in Aries. All right, in the 4th house, retrograding back into Piscean energy by April 12th. We're going to be seeing that stepping back into your 3rd house. All right, Venus has not retrograded back in here in 2024. It will retrograde 2025. I find this interesting, you guys, because I'm now thinking about it and where Mars is going to be going retrograde as well. We'll be seeing Venus go retrograde right after Mars goes direct. Okay. That would be very interesting. And I'm pretty sure right after Venus is retrograde, we'll probably be starting off a Mercury retrograde for the beginning of spring season. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it happens in Aries again. So they might be retrograding Venus and Mercury at the same time. Anyway. Just giving you guys a little update about the near future. Okay. So again, you're focusing on healing in your home environment. North Node in Aries energy. Maybe you're lined up to be in a new home environment or something that pertains to your destiny, a new location. Maybe you and your mother figure's energy has become healed. Okay. Again, a sense of comfort or whatever that may be surrounding your home environment. Taurus in the 5th house. You got some sort of changes happening here when it comes to your love life, the way that you self-express, the way you get creative. All right, maybe there's going to be changes in the family environment because you're pregnant, you're having a baby. Fifth house is all about kids. Uranus is all about the future and changes that may come in the near future. All right, it's retrograding right now. So you might find that when things go direct by January 30th, your life looks different. That's what this feels like, okay? Uranus is going to bring in a sense of chaos before order. All right. If it comes into being the house of your happiness, your pleasure, your love, your peace, then whatever is in alignment for you is going to be affecting that of your home environment, which is where your North Node is. Projects that you have going on pertaining to communication and how you're receiving finances now that Pluto's in transforming your resources. All right. Gemini in the 6th house. We see house of health and hard work. Jupiter being here at its detriment in the sign of Gemini and where you're meant to expand and grow. It's affecting more so that of your health and how much hard work you're able to put in. All right. It's not working with the most strength that it could be. It's looking like Jupiter is in retrograde until February 4th. Okay. It's been here retrograding since, what day was that? October the 12th, I think, or the 9th that Jupiter went retrograde. For a short period of time, not as long as like Neptune and Saturn and whatnot, but still, all right, it's a big change. Jupiter is where you're meant to expand and grow and be adventurous and explore and get out there and take risks, all right, and learn new things. This could be pertaining to like changes that are going to be happening in your work environment or in your health. How have you been taking care of your body? How have you been of service to other people? That type of thing. All right, so Sesqui Quadrant over to Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius, again, being that of the 2nd house. Sesqui Quadrant to the 6th house. Both of those houses are all about finances and work. All right, so if there's a Sesqui Quadrant energy, there's going to be some sort of discomfort and or disharmony pertaining to how or what you do for work and how you're receiving resources here. Again, Pluto is bringing in transformation. So just expect that by December 13th in your 6th house of work. All right, Jupiter squared over to Saturn in Pisces. Again, that's going to be the energy of your 3rd house in square to the 6th house. Both houses being mutable houses. You're meant to be adaptable to whatever tension is going to be happening there. That will happen on December 24th. Again, Jupiter going direct February 4th. This is where the full moon happens this month in this specific mutable sign. All about communication overall. So, December 15th in opposition to where Mercury and Sag is right now. The same day, Mercury will be going direct, and then we'll be seeing the moon waning down from this full moon in Gemini into Cancer. Well, that will ingress into your 7th house of partnerships. Whatever's happening here, whatever highlight is moving forward, it looks like it works positively for you. Don't be afraid to be challenged in a way or go through a sense of tension. I feel like your challenge will be the tension to see if you're able to continue moving forward with either a partnership, a relationship, whether that be in business, platonic, and or family or romantic. All right, it could be contracted to your specific journey here. All right, Mars in Leo is going to go retrograde tomorrow. This is happening for you in the 8th house. It looks like deep emotional feelings, facing fears, house of sex. Mars rules over the 8th house. All right, so I feel here it's exalted, it's ready to go, it's ready to take action, it's ready to overcome and transform. All right, and regenerate those emotional feelings so that you can overcome whatever situation seems to be difficult for you. Mars will be retrograding from December 6th up into, I believe it was going direct in Cancer on February 23rd, and then we'll see it step into Leo again farther down the line. All right, so we're in this back and forth energy of your 8th and your 7th house with Mars. Mars can create for you hardship when it comes to your relationship, so get ready for that when it heads back into Cancer and review. All right, Virgo in the 9th house, not much happening here besides when the moon is here. The moon in the 9th house, or the moon being in Virgo, there's a sense of order coming in to what you're learning. Higher learning is all about the 9th house. All right, so it looks like you're pushing forward here. When is that? The 20th of the month when it comes to spirituality. It gets closer to the holidays, so maybe you feel more inclined with like your family. You're close to those that you love. You feel like the spiritual connection to those that are associated with you. I don't know if you're going to be traveling back to your, if you're foreign, okay, going back home or something for where your roots are, okay. and or having an attachment to some sort of higher learning that's in ascension with your journey, your spiritual journey specifically. Keeping that in order, okay? Libra in the 10th house, this is all about your career, public image, reputation, professional aspiration. Vesta's here, Astro to spirituality. This is all about the sacrifice and the devotion that you've had towards your career, and why are you driven to do what you do? What gives you a sense of spark here? Why do you feel so much power, all right, for what you do here? It feels like there's something karmic about it. Maybe there's something like you feel like you have a past life connection to it. If this actually no longer serves you, the last quarter moon in Libra is going to have you release this by December 22nd. This South Node in Libra won't be here for very much longer, you guys. It won't. January 11th, we have the North Node stepping into Pisces. That will be for you specifically, Capricorn, in your 3rd house. All right. This energy isn't going to be here much longer. This whole Aries and Libra thing. Although we're still dealing with, we did see a solar eclipse in Libra that happened more so in October 2nd. In your 10th house, something was supposed to take off for you pertaining to your career. Something new. If that doesn't work, this last quarter moon in Libra is like, okay, you've had enough time. This doesn't work for you. It's time to move on for something else. When that new moon comes up in your specific sign by, what was it, December 30th, you'll have to set off a new thing where it's like, this is you. This is how you want to represent yourself. This is what you want to go after. This is who I am. This is what I love to do, whatever that may be. All right, but you are technically very structured. You focus on your goals, your accomplishments. You're a very responsible person, Capricorn. You're a hard worker. So I don't see this being a problem if you have to release something and where you're setting off this cardinal moon energy, which you're affected by that because it affects, again, it looks like it's going to be in your 1st, your 4th, your 7th, and your 10th houses. All right, it looks like yourself, your home, your partnerships, and your career. All right, don't be afraid to make changes. It'll work out for you in the long run. All right, Scorpio, 11th house. It looks like you're coming into partnership with specific companions of people, groups of people, networking with specific people. All right, this could be people that align you with your path when it comes to your partnerships. All right, and what's changing for you overall. It could be love affair that's causing some sort of changes here as well. I'm seeing the opposition of Juno and Scorpio with Uranus and Taurus and what's changing in your partnerships. Could be in love, could just be those that you associate with, work with, do humanitarian work with, futuristic, innovative work with, whatever that may be. All right, maybe you're looking at like technology in a different way and partnering and or going back to school for that, because again, we got Pluto in Aquarius changing what you truly value. Saturn bringing discipline into the way that you receive communication and or doing things in the media, getting creative with Neptune retrograding there as well. There's a lot going on in your chart specifically. I like it. All right, and again, the sun right now is in the 12th house for you. Sun stepping into your 1st house on December 21st. Mercury retrograding in Sag happening for you, opposing the 6th house where Jupiter is in Gemini for you. It kind of gives this like Jupiter typically rules the 12th house, so being in opposition to it, it's kind of like I feel like it pulling on that strength and where it brings in a sense of spirituality. All right, but when it goes direct, it's kind of like Mercury is also at its detriment in Pisces in the 12th house. So if you're trying to receive communication here, even if it's being highlighted by the energy of the sun stepping in just about a week later into your 1st house, you're not going to have much time to understand something of the subconscious state or utilize the imagination to get creative fast enough. Could be. I mean, just, the new moon did happen here. So maybe you're receiving a special, like with the conjunction of the new moon and the sun, all right? That's typically when the new moon happens, is when it's the conjunct in the sun. It's like, something was supposed to take off for you. It looks like from the 1st to the 21st, before the sun moves into Capricorn, you got 20 days to get something right. Like, or understand your subconscious state. Get creative. Use your imagination. Use inspiration to go after what you want. Something like this. All right, like your dream state could have been heightened. You could have had heightened intuition, your maternal instincts, your love life could have taken off, being more vulnerable or compassionate with others. There could have been many different things going on here. All right. So yes, the new moon happened in Sag on December 1st. We've got Mercury heading direct on the 15th. Mercury stepping into your 1st house as well on January 8th. And you've got the sun moving into Capricorn on December 21st. All right, let's get into Aquarius. 111 on the clock for Aquarius. Interesting. All right, let's see. 104. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I timestamp everything so I don't have to run back. I hate doing that. I don't like doing extra work. So I'm on point with you guys. All right, Aquarius. So Aqua, I feel like, for me, I feel like you've been the star of the show since back in November with Pluto stepping back into your sign. All right, you're actually with the moon in Aquarius today. You're the star of today's show. Pluto in Aquarius by the end of the month is going to be sextiling over to the North Node in Aries. All right, so it looks like this is going to be affecting your first and your third house, how you're presenting yourself out into the world and how you're communicating. It works harmoniously for you. I feel like you have a specific skill that is very transformative, and it's also like you're very innovative in your own way, very original, very eccentric. So I feel like whatever's happening here for you and the way that you're transforming, it's like perfect. Now we've got Pisces in the second house. What I want to say for you, because I'm an Aquarius myself, I've experienced this energy. Saturn being in retrograde in Pisces since back in, what was it? June 29th in the summertime. And it finally went direct, let's say, in the middle of November. All right. Something here has been disciplining you when it comes to your resources, your finances, your money, your values, your possessions. I feel like you've gone through some shit. All right. You had Pluto step back into Capricorn in your 12th house back in September, and you had a really hard time subconsciously with overcoming difficulties with things that were unexplainable. Okay. Now you're transforming in the house of self, and it's almost like you've got to show the world a brand new you. All right, Neptune retrograding in Pisces right now, getting ready to go direct this weekend, which also has been retrograding since back at the beginning of July. It's like you've been having to really see what is of value to you when it comes to spirituality. Neptune is all about Piscean energy. So it could be like your heightened intuition is on point. All right, you've been having to review what it is that you understand to be of what is valuable. I don't feel that money for you has been really a main thing here, or possessions. I feel like it's your spirituality is what you value. Now the first quarter moon happening in Pisces with this new moon that just happened in Sag being your 11th house, Pisces being your second. This happens to be fixed houses. All right, so it's again the community of people that you're associating with here, because 11th house is your ruling house. You kind of feel comfortable with them with this new moon that just happened in Sag. Now with the first quarter moon happening in Pisces, it's almost like, you know, are you improving your values? Are you improving your resources? Are you improving your finances? What are you doing to help yourself here? Like, what is actually an illusion versus what's reality, because Neptune is now going direct. Like, now it's time to actually get into the nitty gritty of what's happening here with what you truly value. First quarter moon is going to bring that up for you. It's going to bring a highlight. All right. And the first quarter moon is heavy tension energy. It's nothing sweet. All right. So again, it's going to bring tension to whatever it's squaring to. And that's going to be the second house to the 11th and the second house to the 5th. Whether that be your love life, whether that just be your happiness. Like, I feel like something for you upcoming this weekend is like, you either go for it or you don't fucking go for it. That's it. I'm going to say it like that. All right. Now, Aries in your third house, this is the house of communication. This is where the North Node is for you. So I feel that whatever you're doing since the North Node has been in Aries has a lot to do with you either communicating, if it happens to be that you're studying something, if it's that you're traveling somewhere, or transportation being something of involvement here. There's like a core wound healing that you have to go through. And Chiron going direct by the 29th of the month, I feel like this is going to be something that finally you overcome. All right. Maybe you're going to speak your truth about something. All right. House of communication and Chiron is like, this is what I've been healing. I feel like I need to release this off my chest, and this is how I feel. And this is like, if you're part of my destiny, then here it is. Right. Because Venus is going to retrograde here coming up March 1st of 2025 to April 12th of 2025. From Aries to Pisces, this happens to be with communicating what it is that you value and who you love. Second house can be all about love. It's ruled by Venus. All right. If it's a possession, if it's someone or something that you value, if it happens to be your finances, if it's your confidence, your self-care, if it happens to be your your self-esteem, whatever you're working on here and whatever you need to communicate your truth about, if you don't do it now, it's going to happen anyway in the near future. It's like you might as well just get it over and done with. All right, so Venus being the planet of love, being the planet that rules over finances, all right, has a lot to do with your beauty, all that good stuff. I feel like you're going to be good to go, all right, if you just kind of like release what you've been holding back and what seems to be your core wound here. Taurus in the 4th, this is your house of home. You got chaos going on in the house of home. All right, it's going to be there till January 30th. In your season specifically is where it goes direct. It's your ruling planet. All right, so January 30th is the very first decan of Aquarius season. I keep thinking of chaos, all right, in the home environment. Like, you're possibly not comfortable here. It's not just starting, though. This has been something that's been happening. Like, Uranus and Taurus, I want to say, stays there for like 7 to 8 years. This is nothing new. Wherever you've been, it feels like a shit show. It feels like a circus. Okay, I'm pretty sure. So I love this energy of you feeling like you're ready for change in your home environment. And that's okay. All right, because your divine feminine energy is calling for that. Maybe that's what you're needing to heal. All right, Chiron being in Aries is like, if I don't communicate how I feel, then how can I heal my inner child? You know what I mean? Because that's what's changing right now with Uranus being in your 4th house. Gemini in the 5th is the house of pleasure, love, creativity, self-expression, and children. So Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, this has a lot to do with your love life, how you're self-expressing, how you're getting creative, what is a hobby for you, how you're having involvement with your children. We're going to see Jupiter sesqui quadrant over to Pluto in Aquarius. So that's going to be from the 1st to the 5th houses. There's some sort of disharmony with self and either what you do as a hobby coming up on the 13th of December. And then we're also going to see Jupiter square over to Saturn and Pisces by the 24th. So if you've been trying to have something take off with a hobby, it's squaring over to your finances with Saturn being there. You're being structured and disciplined in a way. For having to go after what you love to do as a hobby, you're not gaining resources here. You're actually being disciplined in a way. That's what it feels like. All right, full moon in Gemini happens on December 15th in the 5th house and opposing the 11th house for you, where, again, it has a lot to do with communities of people, where Mercury is retrograding. It will go direct on the 15th. On the same day, full moon in Gemini happens in the 5th house. So whatever is being illuminated for you, if it is your love life, then great. You're happy with who you're with. You're moving forward. If that person no longer serves you, it's done. All right, you're going to release that person and or whatever you do creatively, and or if it doesn't give you pleasure, if it doesn't give you happiness, and you got to make adjustments and you got to let it go. Jupiter will be direct by February 4th for you in the 5th house. The moon will move in the very same day of the full moon in Gemini on the 15th into your 6th house. That's the only thing happening there right now. All right, which is the house of health and hard work. So maybe you're getting yourself prepared to get in order when it comes to your health. All right, what you do for work, how you're remaining organized, if you're getting more so intellectually suited for looking into details and getting analytical, whatever it is, you could be very like focused then. All right, I like when the moon is in Virgo for me, or in the 6th house for me, should I say. It has all to do with what you do for work. All right, Leo in the 7th house, this is your partnerships. You got Mars here right now, so you could be fighting with your partner. All right, there seems to be like a heavy spotlight on pride and ego with Mars being in Leo. All right, it just kind of gives this energy of like ready to go to war. To be honest, the planet of war is in your house of partnerships. It's like you're ready to go to war with anybody that you're partnered with. All right, Mars retrogrades starting tomorrow, December 6th. All right, so you could be trying to like piece up specific relationships, partnerships, people that you feel contracted to in a way. With Virgo being in your 8th house, it kind of gives like there's nothing happening there until the 20th of the month. So Virgo has a lot to do with other people's resources. All right, which is also having to do with deep emotional feelings and where you need to face your fears about certain things. Maybe there's something that comes up by the 20th of the month that you don't feel comfortable with. Anytime the moon is in Scorpio, you want to have a sense of power. If you don't have that power, then you're going to be kind of like deep in your feelings about it. And that's okay. All right. Libra in the 9th house, house of higher learning, spirituality, foreign travel. This is where you are having karmic challenges here. All right. It looks like you are dealing with past life issues. That's what it is. You have a natural gift. You move forward in whatever you feel sparked with, and that's the asteroid of spirituality here in your 9th house, in the house of spirituality. So you got lots of education, lots of higher learning going on right now. All right, you could be foreign traveling, meaning astral traveling. All right, let's just say that you sacrifice a lot for others, and you do it because you love spirituality. All right, Lilith being in Libra, it gives you a sense of power, whatever you do. All right, but that also looks like it's going to be coming to an end by the end of December. It's on the 22nd. Last quarter moon, if this doesn't serve you or you need to make adjustments in any way, you're going to be releasing this to step into the new moon in Capricorn, and that's going to be happening in your 12th house. Doesn't matter what you're doing. All right, the specific community of people that you're associating with right now with the new moon that happened in Sag in the 11th house, you're meant to be with those people. That's why Mercury is retrograding here. All right, so you're reviewing and or trying to connect again with specific people that are meant to be on your pathway. Mercury retrogrades are bringing those back from the past or situations back from the past that you need to review. Because when the new moon happens in Capricorn, that is going to have you tap in again to your subconscious state. Spirituality, using your imagination and getting creative. So it's not like you're losing out on anything from this last quarter moon happening in Libra. You're going to be making adjustments rather than just releasing something. That's what it looks like. Scorpio in your 10th house, you're coming into partnership here with someone in career, or should be. This didn't just step in. It's been here since November the 3rd. All right, so Scorpio season for you is your 10th house energy. It's all about your career, your public image, your aspirations, all right, your reputation, whatever divine masculine energy you have that you go after, whatever you use your yang energy for, that's what you're in partnership with. All right, Sag in the 11th house is the house of companions. And again, this is where the sun is shining. You got Mercury retrograde here and the new moon that just happened on the 1st. You got Mercury retrograding again until December 15th in opposition to your 5th house, with Gemini being there. Something's coming into completion. That's what it feels like on that day. Mercury sitting in the house of Aquarius. You do something original. Maybe you're attracting specific people that are very futuristic, innovative. Whatever you do, you look into the details of everything. Mercury is like an analytical planet. Could be a trickster planet too, so be careful you're not being tricked by the specific community of people that you're associating with. Fuckers. Okay. I don't know. The highlight is on you right now in your house of companions. People like you, but then you also have those that may not like you. Okay, so be careful. You're learning new stuff as well, and it comes in the 12th house with Pallas being here, which is the asteroid of wisdom and knowledge. I like this because Pallas is like, she's the female version of Mars. She's ready for war. She's ready to go after and learn new things that are of the unknown, things that are meant to be kept subconsciously hidden. I don't like that. I like to get into details of everything. You know what I mean? So using the imagination and inspiring other people to do the same thing. Don't be afraid. Venus in Capricorn. You got Venus exalted here. All right, Aquarius. So you got Venus here in the 12th house, which is actually exalted in the 12th house. All right. You have this, you have a sense of vision, being more attracted to that of the unknown. Okay, you can be definitely more compassionate and vulnerable with others. Venus is going to be stepping into your 1st house by the 7th, which is this upcoming Saturday. Ceres also stepping into your 1st house, okay, which is all about parenting and nurturing and agriculture. It looks like if there's things that are of the unknown, you want to know about it. All right, with Pallas being here. Venus in Capricorn, again, you have a lot of exaltation when it comes to that of your psychic abilities. Whatever is heightened as well, that's been happening since back in October through November and up into here in December with finances, valuables, pleasure, relationships, beauty, love. Everything that was over the top at that time with whatever involvements you had there that was of the hidden environment for you, that's moving into your house of self. So I don't feel like you lost out on anything. I feel like if anything, your appearance is going to be right on point. All right. Serious. Your self-care, right on point. Your parenting, right on point. How you're nurturing others, right on point. And the new moon happening in Capricorn is happening by the end of the month. Getting yourself ready for the remaining of Capricorn season and getting you ready for your season. All right, let's get into Pisces. All right. Pisces, you've got Saturn. That is in your first house. Direct at this point. All right. Neptune goes direct this upcoming Saturday. It looks like this is perfect for you. All right. Your domicile planet is going direct after being retrograde for about 5 months now. Okay. First quarter moon is happening in your first house as well. So it looks like whatever you set your intention on, what would that be? Sag would be your 10th house. All right. Your commitment is being tested here. It's time for you to put yourself out there and show people what you're about. That's what I feel like. All right. Your planet being direct is going to give you a sense of power. All right. You have this dominant energy behind you and how you can utilize that of your imagination and getting creative and using the energy of vulnerability and love and compassion. All right. For you to set goals for yourself. All right. This is all about you, the house of self. It looks like you've been disciplined overall in the house of self. Heavily focused on overcoming difficulties, being very ambitious and driven and persevering towards your goals and your accomplishments when it comes to how you want to present yourself out to the world. Aries in your second house, house of money, values, and possessions. This is where Chiron's been retrograding for months now as well. Okay, you got Chiron going direct by the end of the month. Asteroid of the Wounded Healer. You got the North Node in Aries as well, working well with this energy, going right towards your destiny. All right, Venus retrograding, upcoming in March of 2025 towards April of 2025, stepping from Aries back into Pisces. So this happens to be your second house to your first house. Venus here is comfortable in the second house, right? It's in its domicile there. Working well when it comes to your resources. You'll have the North Node in Pisces at that time in your first house. So this is going to be auspicious for you stepping into December, even through the very beginning of the year of 2025. It looks like you've got some positive things coming through for you. All right. You're going to be experiencing some changes here when it comes to the house of communication. You've got Uranus here creating some sort of chaotic change. I don't know if it happens to be with how you communicate, how you are traveling, if it affects your transportation, whatever that may be. This energy of the retrograde in Taurus is happening up until January 30th. So again, there's a lot of changes happening for you at the beginning of the year. Once this goes direct, maybe the changes of how either you're communicating something, who you're socializing with, things that are in the media, things will start changing for you. Okay. Gemini in your fourth house is the house of home, comfort, divine feminine energy. You've got Jupiter retrograding here, has been in retrograde since October 9th or the 12th. I can't remember exactly. But this hasn't just started. All right, it will be here until February 4th in retrograde. It's in its detriment in the house of home. So you could find that your home environment is being reviewed right now, your divine feminine energy. Do you have what it takes to really step into your comfort zone? All right, to do something and or bring in a sense of change. You have this Gemini in the fourth house that is going to be sesqui quadrant over to Aquarius in your 12th. All right, when those two energies are tapping base, these are two houses that tap into the subconscious state or divine feminine energy, should I say. So you could have like a heightened intuition where you feel more so discomforted, and or it could work out well for you if you utilize the energy properly. That will take place on December 13th. Jupiter squared over to Saturn on December 24th. It looks like your expansion and your growth will be tested. You'll have a lot of tension when it comes to your house of self and your home environment. All right, so I feel like overall, the subconscious state being heavy, the way that you present yourself out is heavy, and your home environment is heavy with those two transits on the 13th and the 24th. Jupiter again direct on the February 4th, and then we'll see the full moon happening on the 15th. I don't like that you're having this full moon in the 4th house. I mean, overall, yes, the moon rules the 4th house, but it's going to give you a sense of having to bring exposure to your career as well. All right, because we got Mercury that's retrograding in Sagittarius on the same day. It goes direct. So it's like you have in your 1st house, you're being disciplined on how you're presenting yourself out into the world, but then you're also feeling like what's retrograding in your 10th house is, do you actually want to do whatever you're doing for your career? And that being exposed on the 15th in your house of home, you may not want to deal with others. You might just want to stay in your comfort zone and just tap into your divine feminine energy. Being around a mother figure could be of significance, and or just, you know, I want to say you might go into like hermit mode almost. That's what this feels like. Because you're going to be feeling the tension already from Jupiter, Sesqui Quadrant over to Pluto and Aquarius in your 12th. That's all subconscious energy. And then having a full moon in Gemini is like exposure to being, you know, not going to be comfortable here. All right. Anyway, whatever's highlighted, you either release it, it serves you. If it doesn't, then you move on. Okay. Cancer in your 5th house, nothing happening right now besides when the moon ingresses on the same day on the 15th into your 5th house. All right, the moon in the 5th house will bring in a sense of like appreciation for children if you're in the home environment. If you do something creatively in the home environment where you can self-express, if it brings a sense of love and pleasure, all right, being around those that you actually feel comfortable with, then that's what the moon in Cancer for you is going to do for the, you know, following 2 or 3 days that the moon is going to be there. Let's just, can you get out of my stuff, please? Thank you. Virgo in the 7th house, there's not much happening here. All right, Leo being in the 6th, we have Mars that's there. Mars in the 6th house is, you're going after whatever you do for work. And, or that's going to be retrograding here. All right, starting tomorrow, December 6th. So, what I'm seeing is, whatever you've been really going hard with, it could have been all about like health and hard work, but now there's a heavy focus of your subconscious state in your home environment and your children for some reason, if you have children. If it's not a child, it could be that of a creative hobby, something like this. All right. Now, again, there's not much happening in your partnership, so maybe you're not even involved in a relationship at this time, or it doesn't feel that way. Maybe you're all about work, and then this is what needs to be reviewed, is like stepping back into your feminine energy, which the yin wants love, okay? With Libra being in the 8th house, you got the asteroid of spirituality there, Vesta, which is given a sense of sacrificing and devoting for others. Let's just say you feel heavy emotionally attached to your deep emotional feelings and how you're overcoming fears about something. Lilith in Libra, you want a sense of power. Lilith is like the female Mars. Lilith being in the 8th house that's ruled by Mars. I mean, you might just be all about your feelings for the next, you know, couple months. Vesta doesn't step into Scorpio until January 2nd, and it looks like that's going to be stepping into the house of spirituality. You're going to be going through, I feel like this is like a transformational type of energy for you. That's what this feels like. I'm feeling like, for you Pisces, this Neptunian energy and how that's going to give you a boost to utilize your imagination and get creative. All right, Saturnian energy, how much discipline you've had on yourself. Pluto now being transforming what your subconscious state is and how your, you know, divine feminine energy is going to be of significance moving forward with where the asteroid of spirituality is working well with your sacrificing, your devotion, and your spark for that of your emotional state. You're an emotional sign. You're Pisces energy. So South Node being in Libra for you, you've been having karmic challenges maybe with the changes that are getting ready to happen. What I do like is that by January 11th, again on the 111 portal, the North Node steps into your sign. Where is the moon on that day? I don't know why I'm so deep into your reading, but I like this shit. Hold on a second. 111 portal, we will have the moon in, it looks like either Cancer, because we're having a full moon in Cancer on the 13th. It's either going to be in Gemini and or Cancer, the moon on that day. I want to be specific. Hold on. Do not lick me. Do not lick me. That It's February. I don't want February. It's going to be in Cancer. All right. I like it. So yes, we'll have the moon in Gemini most of the day, ingressing into Cancer. So for you, Pisces, being that you're going to have a square over, all right, on that specific day, whatever is happening for you here is going to be tapping into your mutable energies, and that's obviously for you going to be your first, your first, your fourth, your seventh, your 10th houses. So again, all about self. With Saturn being there causing discipline and structure, you getting ready to utilize all the imagination and getting creative and all you want to. But your fourth house of home is more so saying that, you know, you've got to expand, you've got to grow. There's going to be difficulties in stepping into that divine feminine energy. And this is going to be something that takes place for you all the way up until Jupiter goes direct on the 4th. That full moon is going to bring an illumination. But what I do not like is that it's opposing that of your career. Don't feel forced to be in the sense of career for you right now, because the sun is shining in Sag. It's going to put a highlight on that specific energy. But if Mercury is retrograding there, then it's almost being reviewed of what needs to happen surrounding that of, you know, what you choose to do and how your reputation looks like, your public image, or to other people. It's okay to be okay in the home environment and focusing on children and tapping into that divine feminine energy and what you possibly lack right now, because Neptune has been retrograding for so long. All right. I feel like your energy has been pulled away from you, being reviewed in other places, and where now it goes direct, the focus should be on you and what you want. That's what I feel this is. Take it as it resonates, though. Scorpio in the 9th house, house of higher learning. This is where your partnership is here. All right. Maybe you want marriage. You feel a spiritual connection to somebody. All right. Maybe this is someone that you feel like you can foreign travel to. Again, astral travel to. Maybe this is someone that you feel like you have a close partnership with, but it could be like a spiritual partnership again. Someone that gives you a sense of higher education, higher learning, whatever that may be. All right. And then I'm also seeing that of, let's see, the new moon that happened for you in Sag on the 1st, that was career-wise. I don't know. I feel like your public image is like on blast right now. And what you're going to do with it with this first quarter moon coming up in your first house. It's like, what did you utilize from that energy of your career? I feel like people might be judging you. I feel this is like judgment on you right now. All right, pertaining to your astrological axis, they're the most important. Like, what's going on with you in your partnership? What's happening for you in your home environment? What are you doing with yourself? Or what are you doing? What's taking off for you in your career? Something like that. That's what I feel like this is. All right, so whatever you're learning about, and where Palace was in Sag for a while, now stepping into your 11th house of companions, I feel like you're going to be learning something more so futuristic. You're going to get innovative with different networks of people, or I feel like you're having a shift here is what it feels like. All right, like even Venus being in Capricorn, Sirius being in Capricorn together. And Venus could be that you have a very like conventional type of relationship with someone else or a specific group of people. Like you feel like you're mad chill around them, but that's going to change when Venus steps into Aquarius. Why? Because Venus is stepping into your ruling home. Venus is exalted there. Your energy of your divine feminine energy will be heightened. I'm trying to tell you what I feel. All right, so Sirius retrograding, Sirius being in Capricorn, stepping into Aquarius, with Venus stepping into Aquarius, and Neptune going direct on the very same day, all on December 7th. This is upcoming weekend on Saturday. All right, you're going to be seeing your 12th house and your first house being illuminated with that of your subconscious state and how you're focusing more so on your divine feminine energies. New moon in Capricorn for you guys happens on December 30th. I'm leaving the reading there. I'm exhausted. I love you all, and I hope it resonates with you guys. Gotta go.